Hi guys, Ellen here, and welcome back to my series on organizing your inventory. For this video, we are going to do step 3, which is establishing and doing some organizing of your main subfolders. And what those are is it's a similar concept to creating the minimal amount of main folders. And so, for instance, we will start with the avatar folder here because in my alt account here, I have the most amount of stuff that goes on the avatar for the avatar or as part of the avatar. And so as you can see, we've got a whole bunch of stuff in there. So this probably resembles yours a lot more than some of my other folders because it has a bunch of stuff in it. So I've already created some folders that are the basic main subfolders that go in Avatar, which is accessories. That's self-explanatory. Clothes, hair, and heads are self-explanatory. That's anything. That's any of your heads, your mesh or bento heads, or any appliers for the heads. And then with the body, that is going to be your mesh body or bodies, and anything that goes applies to your body, like skins or tattoos or what have you. So we are going to get started now, just going through some of these. I'm obviously not going to go through the whole folder for you guys, but I'm just going to do a few of them to show you the process that you will go through in order to get these main subfolders sorted. And this is the step where you're going to start deciding whether or not what you're going to keep and what you're going to throw away. And you are going to probably have to try things on or res them to see what they look like. And you will have to make a decision on whether you want to keep it or not. If you don't want to decide, just go ahead and sort it, organize it for, deal with it later. So the first thing we have here is a corset with pockets. And what I do before I place it into its main subfolder is I'm going to go ahead and delete all the sizes that I don't wear. Feel free to do that if you only wear one body or one mesh body and you don't have any plans to get another one. If that's for some reason you decide later on, you can always get a redelivery, or hopefully you've kept the box so you can a backup box so you can unbox it later. But for me personally, I'm just going to delete everything in here that I'm not going to use. And this is not just for the sake of keeping it visually tidy, but also to keep my inventory numbers down, because on my main Ellen account, I have been amassing items at a feverish pace. So I want to try and keep the numbers down as minimum as possible. So the only things I'm going to keep in this folder here is the Maitreya size and the texture, which shows me a picture of it. And the rest, I'm just going to delete. And so, so for this one, this is going to go into my clothes folder. And later we will have subfolders in here for different types of clothes, but that will be for another video, and it's another step. So I'm going to put that in there. And next I'm going to go to this. This is a dress. This already only has my size and the HUD that goes with it, so I'm going to put it in clothes. Oh, probably best to just right click and cut and paste as opposed to dragging it, because I tend to just randomly drag in the wrong folder. Next we have shoes. Here again we have sizes I don't wear, landmarks. I also delete all the landmarks, which I mentioned in my blog post. So I'm only going to keep Maitreya and the HUD, and we don't have a texture in here, so I'm just going to delete all that stuff. I'm going to cut it and then put it in my clothes folder. And again, later on we'll have a subfolder in there for shoes. And here's another one. Delete Freya, Hourglass, Isis, Physique, TMP, Venus, and the Landmark. And at this point, you can, if you feel like it, you can try these on. You could try on whatever you're working on to see if you want to keep it at all. But that just this step is obviously a much more complex step than the previous two. The next one's going to be even more complex. So it's kind of getting up to you at this point how much you want to do with this step. So we're going to put that in close. Next one, here we got another pair of shoes. Deleting the sizes I don't wear and the landmark. I also delete duplicate note cards, like thank you note cards. Sometimes stores will include a texture of their logo for some reason. I think that might have to do with bloggers, but I'm not sure. I also delete those. I delete bag holds and unpacking scripts and whatever. So shoes go in the closed folder for now. And we're just going to do the next few here. This already only has Maitreya in there. I should have some music for the background when I get quiet. I'm still so new at making videos. I'll get the hang of it though. Okay, so we just have a whole bunch of those. Let's go down to something else here. Here's a necklace, and those are the necklaces. And here's it's just delete the script. So obviously you're gonna delete it anyways, but in the landmark. And we're going to cut this and put it into the accessories main subfolder. And again, we'll later on we'll have subfolders within this main subfolder for necklaces and bracelets and tattoos, different subfolders. Next we have these. This is probably going to be one of those things where I keep the note card because this is an item I'm not familiar with and I just haven't had a chance to, so I'm going to keep that. I'm going to put the wings in the accessories folder. At one point, I'm sure I'll have a subfolder for wings. I don't know why I always get wings for this alt account. Of course, I don't log on to it very often anymore, but when I did. Alright, and then we have, what's this? Let's see something I haven't done. Here's some shoes. Again, I'm going to delete the note card, the landmark, pose helper. I don't need that because I have plenty of pose stands. Belisa, Eve, mesh projects, link hide, delete that bag hold. I delete the shoe base and the note card. And I'm going to put it in my close folder. You get the gist. So this is going to be quite a bit more time consuming. You're going to go through each one of these items in each one of your main subfolders, and you're going to make it so that eventually in this first folder, like let's say if you're doing it just like I'm doing it, in this first main folder, you will have these subfolders and nothing else, because eventually you will have organized them all into their respective main subfolders. So that is step 3, establishing subfolders and sorting them out. It is going to start getting time consuming at this point. My only advice to you is that just do what you can, little at a time. Don't feel overwhelmed or discouraged if your inventory is still looking pretty disorganized and chaotic, you know, in a couple weeks. This is going to be a pretty lengthy process, especially if you have, say, 140,000 items, like somebody I know, and has neglected it for quite a while. But this process is going to be your next step, and you shouldn't move forward from it until you've completed this process. So so eventually you're going to have your inventory looking like this, and then each one of these folders, you're just going to have only these main subfolders in each one of them. Once you get to that point, then you can move on to step 4. But for now, that is step 3. And it's because I didn't want to say, because this is a much more complex step. I may have, and this is my first time doing any tutorials or anything like this, so if I left anything out, or if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments on this video, or contact me in World if you'd like. I will leave my username right there in the description of the video. And otherwise, once you finish this step, you're ready to move on to the next one. So I will see you in my next video, and thanks for watching.